Hey collective, what's going on? Welcome into the channel, getting this piece of hair out of the way. So happy to have you here. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy for today, August 16th, via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into this. I've been going live a little bit more lately because I have been super busy lately. It's been really chaotic on my end the last few weeks, and so uploading readings has been a little bit difficult. Thank you so much for your patience always. I'm trying to reset and get content recorded for next week. I actually was able to do that yesterday. Thank goodness. So hopefully things will be back up and running per usual. Leo season is coming to an end this week. At the end of next week, we also have a full moon coming up, and there's a lot of transits in the astrology for sure. We're getting a lot of support, but we're getting support through the hard things. It doesn't, like, just because there are more positive aspects in the astrology, it doesn't necessarily take away some of the difficulties, the road blocks, the hurdles, the obstacles that we might be coming into. Some of our collective readings on the shorts have been a little bit intense, so definitely check those out if you're interested. Where, you know, maybe it's things that we kind of know. We have senses, understanding around situations, long-term situations, especially if they're undergoing a lot of change, a lot of upheaval, can look very different on the other side, right? And there can be a lot of different situations that are kind of pushing, pulling in order to get it into that space that's a little bit more grounded and supportive for everyone. Not all things are going to work that way, right? And so sometimes we do have to cut people out, situations out that really aren't serving us. And that's really what we're playing around with currently. So Pluto's gone into Aquarius. It settled there finally last November. We have a couple outer planets, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto in retrograde, as well as Chiron. Chiron helps us grow, evolve, heal, all that so fun stuff. But that's also why I like to start off the readings with an energy cleansing. Just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places that we might be feeling blocked or limited. It's a great time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you have come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you do want spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. It's a really great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are just interested in more of that realignment of self, your mind, body, soul. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're feeling good, grounded, aligned in who we are and what we want, that's really where we're able to manifest our quote unquote happiness, abundance, success. And I would love to help support you in that in whatever way works best for you. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, with that, this was like on fire before, and now it's like quieted way, way down. Thus has been our Leo season. Came in with a bang, lots of intensity. Mercury went direct, I should say, this week too. So we're feeling a little bit of an easement around that. It has still highlighted those disconnects as I was talking about, but it's actually giving us a sense of peace as we're making certain choices, certain decisions to move through these different obstacles that we're facing. All right, we're ready. Let's get into it. Thank you for your patience. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from your being so you may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, so I feel this energy of like waiting for something. I feel like you're in this space where you're really kind of uncertain about something, uncertain about how something is going to play out. And it's kind of putting you, I don't know if this is on your toes, because I feel like you're more in this energy of like, I just don't want to have to deal with it. I'm just going to like, not turn a blind eye, but not pay attention is probably a better way to say that. We do have some tense aspects to the sun, which is our ego today, via the moon, via Uranus, and Black Moon Lilith. So we're in this energy of hope, of wish that people will change their minds or do things a little bit differently, be more honest, be more authentic. And some of it's just not happening, right? And so I feel like with this inner goddess as the overarching energy, inner god, inner goddess, however you want to see it, is about not letting those things distract you. In some ways, I think kind of turning a blind eye to something. Don't put your head in the sand. Maintain awareness is what I'm saying. But don't become so fixated on something that really isn't going to serve you or going to edify you today, because it looks like you're coming from a space where there has been a lot of that. Like I'm seeing this Pisces energy as a lot of ups and downs. Pisces is one of the most intuitive signs. So it's being able to pick up what is actually going on a more subtle level, right? So this is that like reading between the lines when someone's trying to tell you they're doing it one way, but really it's kind of like everything's pointing to what you're picking up, what you're sensing, what you're feeling. It can be a little bit crazy making. Okay, there's our divine power. So it can be a little bit crazy making in the way that, well, Neptune's in retrograde right now with Saturn. So they're right on top of each other in Aries. So it's challenging us to trust our instincts. It's challenging us to step into this power. And sometimes the thing about masculine energy is it means that we're creating boundaries. We might have to be a little bit more cold and blunt. And this is what it is with someone, especially when they're not necessarily getting the message. And I feel like that's where it's hard for you because, like I was saying, in the astrology, there's so much that's saying like cheering us on, right? Like, you got this. This is awesome. You're going to like make this happen. And you believe that. And then these little things kind of pop up to challenge it. It's again, that ego challenge, right? Like, are you really worthy, or do you really think it's going to work out in your favor? And that's where we have to be strong today. Resting in this strength of divine power. What does it say? I love this. Believe in the divine power within you, because once it's awakened, a whole new life will start to take shape for you. So this is just like being confident in oneself, simply put. And as we were looking at that, a rare offer comes in for you. Something that, like I like this energy, because as much as we are dealing with a lot of messiness, as much as we're dealing with people that we wish would behave differently, it's also giving us this opportunity to dream about what we would ideally want this to look like. If it wasn't this way, if it was in your perfect little bubble, or perfect package, maybe is a better way to say it, like, what would you actually want it to look like? And that is a form of manifestation, law of attraction. It's when we're intentionally kind of plugging in or flipping the script, whatever that script is going on in your mind, whatever has been kind of taking your energy. And this is definitely highlighted in the astrology with Mars tensely aspected to both Saturn and Neptune. That need to trust in ourselves. Mars' lesson lately has been to slow down. Don't move so quickly through things. That's actually how we get a better gauge on how the magic is going to show up in our life, right? That's like how we manifest. If we're running through things at a high speed pace, then it's hard to kind of vet everything. It's hard to see all the fine print, the details. But there also is this element of needing to take risk. Where there is risk, there is reward. And I feel like when you're embodying this divine power, this to me feels very much like having a beautiful balance of the duality within, right? Of the masculine, feminine. The feminine is what draws in, attracts abundance, and the masculine like makes it happen, right? The masculine is what puts it into play in real time. And it's taken a lot to get here, but I love this. This is like a really powerful reading today. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to sell it like things aren't going to happen, because honestly, in our short, it was just like, there's still heartbreak. There's still sadness. But so much of that, like I emphasized before, is happening with the past. It's with the dynamics that are either really struggling to change or are just not going to change. And then we have to make more severe actions or take steps that maybe it wasn't how you wanted, how you intended it to be. It's hard not to get stuck in. It's so interesting because this is very much opposites. Needing to be more balanced, not getting so sucked into the emotionality of what's going on around you or what someone's trying to provoke. Having that bird's eye perspective is going to be where your success lies. It feels like it's really hard to do, maybe rightfully so, you know, especially if you're dealing again with people that are close to you, people that you love, people that, you know, it's just not working, unfortunately. That might not be for everybody. This can just be like whatever challenges, whatever blocks you're facing in life. Like no matter how much you try to put energy, effort towards this thing, you feel like you're hitting closed door after closed door. It reminds me of that value. Like, and so this is so much of Pluto kind of being on the cusp, just moving into Aquarius, coming from Capricorn. It's this value of, believing in ourselves, right? Putting in the hard work, believing in ourselves so we can actually make that change happen. So I feel like, okay, so you're seeing a new level of clarity today. Someone is, okay, so just as much as there is this energy of like step into your power, it looks like you're drawing in someone else who's doing the same. And I feel like this is something you're kind of focusing on you're focusing on your own truth is what it looks like. Not so much whomever, whatever you're dealing with, which actually makes a lot of sense with how the overarching energy is coming in. This is hard for someone, right? Because they have different intentions, different ideas about how this should play out. In their mind, they're really giving to you. They're giving to you in like a good, solid way. It might, like, whatever this is, feels like it does come from some type of rocky past. It hasn't been smooth sailing because this is someone who's really trying to step into their own power, like I talked about, and show you that to whatever capacity I'm trying to give to this relationship, let's just start fresh is what I was hearing. I don't know, like maybe you hear them, maybe they're not directly saying it, indirect meaning more through their actions, like they're trying to show you by what they're doing for you, not necessarily having conversation, because it's not that you're not paying attention, but like I said, it doesn't really feel like there's a lot being said within this. And it's stressing them out because I feel like they They're feeling like you're not getting their secret messages, whatever, whether it's like intuitive vibes or like energy or, like I said, indirect communication. But I think it's more important for you to understand what this is for your own self, for your own sanity, because there's a lot of conflicting feelings, thoughts around this, whether that's just from within you or whether you guys are actually having fights, because this is someone who's like specifically investing in themselves and nothing else, right? And not putting this selfish energy on it. Okay, but we have the Magician. Sometimes people can be, and this again confirms this divine power. Sometimes people can just be like really stuck in their ways, or they think that whatever they're doing is so effing important that they can't take a second to have an honest conversation or whatever it may be. And to me, Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, you're tired of waiting. You're tired of waiting on that conversation. Every time you do, it feels messy, or it just is draining, or it brings into this conflict. And I feel like this bottled energy is just like you're over and done with it. Like you're over and done with it. But this bottled up is also igniting something, I think, that's like very powerful within you. I think you have to stand in your truth today. So it doesn't mean that you have to have another messy conversation with someone, or because sometimes like this definitely feels like an energy that's just not listening. It looks like that they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, but almost whatever they do, they feel like guilty, or they're worried about like constantly like questioning themselves, but they're not changing their behavior. So it's just really kind of a weird energy. I mean, I get it. It's just like a little bit selfish, unfortunately. And I think what they're realizing, what they're feeling is that like you're not as invested, you're not giving to it as much anymore. And I think you're keeping yourself quiet, whether you're looking at this as keeping secrets. It's not bad secrets. I'm not saying you're doing something bad to someone. This just feels like you're not saying anything because you need to keep your pieces close. I think it's also helping reveal what is going on in this situation. So yeah, I mean, this divine power, when it's not in its higher vibration, when it's more in its primitive energy, it can be rigid, it can be manipulative, controlling. And I feel like that's whatever this energy is that you're dealing with. It feels like you're almost like dealing with more of someone who's trying to control the situation. Yeah, they're just like not happy with how things are working out, and so they respond poorly. 9 of Wands. And maybe rightfully so. In their mind, it's justified. But you feel like, again, I'm done with it. This has been a lot. This has been enough. I don't really want to go back down this road anymore. I feel like that's why Mars has been so chomping at the bit to like get things up and running, to push things forward, either close out stuff that doesn't work for us or bring in new opportunities. And it's definitely been slowed down. So we have to take our time. But the time, the value becomes the clarity that you're receiving. And as you're continuing to push forward in this, as you're continuing to like, let's see who this King of Wands is for you. As you're seeing like more of your power or feeling more confident in yourself, I feel like a lot is going to come out of this. Like this feels like creative inspiration. This feels like, this can also be like a conversation coming out, agreeing to disagree, or maybe waving. Oh, okay, wait, hold on a second before I say this. I was going to say waving a white flag, a little bit of surrender. Okay, like someone agrees to some very superficial terms and circumstances. So whatever this is, I also feel like okay, it looks like you're just creating your autonomy. Like you're separating yourself from this so you can see it a little bit more clearly. So you're not being bamboozled or taken advantage of, or, you know, whatever. Like you kind of just are trying to build something solid and stable for yourself. And I think that that's exactly where this is headed, right? Like there are beautiful things that are unfolding from this. And I feel like a lot of it is for you, like with yourself. It's things that you've repressed, things that you need to tap back into, maybe even things that you're kind of like waiting to come out of you, right? Because I definitely feel this vibe of creative inspiration. Express your divine feminine energy. This energy will serve you well, no matter what your goals are, right? Because that's exactly how we attract. That's why we're fighting through, overcoming some of these barriers that have been in front of us for so long, so that we can release this magic, you know, however that is for you. And here's the thing. I feel like whatever this situation is, it looks like there will be some peace coming. But like I said, it's very superficial, or it's someone wants to keep things really loose. Someone wants to keep things loosey-goosey. They don't want to get too committed. They're not selling. It's like a 3-month plan is what I'm hearing, right? Like, it's like they might say, yeah, let's try this, but they just can't do it. Either they can't do it or they don't want to do it. In their own mind, they're sitting and thinking like, where's their next exit plan? That type of vibe. So this is, I'm hearing for you, and this is exactly what you're doing as you're separating yourself, as you're really trying to understand things from a really clear vantage point. This is like really taking out the illusion in every way possible. And part of that is just disconnecting with this escape. Part of this is just disconnecting from whatever this situation is so you can have that clarity. It is stressing someone out. We talked about this already, but it's giving you the opportunity to create in a powerful way, in a way that I think is more honoring to your heart. It feels like you're actually able to take some steps to gain a little bit more confident and insight on how you can do things a little better, how you can be more grounded. Yeah, I love this. We've been getting a lot of wish energy. So really dream up. We had that in the very beginning, right? Whatever your desires are, I think it's just about knowing that can come in. I know that sounds a little flighty. We have to put work behind it, just like we talked about, that balance of masculine and feminine. But when we do, spirit, universe, God, however you understand it, sets things in the right space. Maybe it doesn't feel like things are right now, but you're still in this process of healing. So be kind to yourself. Be gentle on yourself. Try not to put too many expectations on how things should look. Spirit's wanting you to not feel so emotionally invested in what's going on. Air energy is really good at saying, you know what? I don't want to go down this road. I don't want to go down this emotional K-hole. Pisces energy does, you know, so that's the difference. Libra, balance, justice, relationships, it's in your blocked energy right now. As I'm saying this, Mars is also in Libra. So Mars is figuring out what partnerships are working and what are not. But then we have to make sure that we're not trying to force our agenda, our fantasy on what we want someone to be when they really can't. Because as much as it looks like this person's situation might give you what you want, or there's going to be a conversation that gives this a little bit more reprieve, meaning like you can find a little balance and harmony and try to work together. This person, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I hope this reading helped. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just to say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. Know it blesses my heart, and I'm sending love and blessings back to you. Have a great day. not ending.